Teresa Giudice hints she's done with RHONG. Teresa Giudice hinting at quitting RHONG has left fans wondering what's next for the reality TV staple. Her potential exit would shake up the Jersey dynamics for good. Keep reading for all the details. Fighting on season 14 of RHONG out of control. Almost all of the women from RHONG are on the outs with each other on season 14, and the season isn't even over yet. Teresa Giudice has gotten into it with Margaret Josephs about Teresa's marriage to Louis Rulas. Margaret claims that Louis used up all of Teresa's money, an accusation Teresa strongly denied. In fact, she claimed her co-stars were going after her husband in an effort to hurt her. A recent episode saw Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral get into a physical altercation. Fans are divided over who started it, but Danielle ended it by smashing a glass against Jennifer's head. The two were briefly suspended during filming for their behavior. However, the ladies of New Jersey didn't seem to learn anything, as another confrontation allegedly happens later in the season. As a result, the women weren't speaking and refused to film a reunion episode. But Bravo came up with another way to give fans the necessary closure. Teresa Giudice hints she's done with Bravo show. Teresa has had issues with her co-stars before. Actually, when hasn't she? But she's been open with fans through every part of her life, good or bad, from her time in prison to her divorce from Joe Giudice and her feud with her brother and his wife. But does she draw the line at coming after her new husband and marriage? An insider spilled to Life and Style that Teresa is fed up with the drama. She might not want to come back, the source revealed. This isn't the first time Teresa Giudice threatened to quit the show. Bravolebs from different Housewives franchises often consider leaving but return for more, such as Kyle Richards from RHOBH. Fans react to possibility. As the OG of RHONG, Teresa Giudice has an equal number of fans and haters. Some Bravo fans celebrated the news of her rumored departure in the comment section of the Life and Style article. She could leave today, and that wouldn't be soon enough for me. She has overstayed her relatively. The only reason she would leave is because she thinks she's getting fired, so this way she'll say it was her idea. I skip past her scenes, can't stand her. She's intellectually challenged and she's ruined her family. No great loss. Teresa is just an old mean girl. Concentrate on raising your girls to be good people. I think she is a pathetic liar, and I think she's being scammed by her husband, and now she's got her daughter involved in everything. She needs to go, and it should have happened long time ago. Teresa Giudice had always been the heart and soul of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. From her unforgettable table-flipping moment to her countless battles with frenemies, Teresa had carried the show on her back for over a decade. But as she sat in her sprawling Montville kitchen, her gaze lingering on a cup of chamomile tea, she couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. The cameras were still rolling, of course. They always were. Yet the usual adrenaline rush of being in the spotlight seemed muted. She sighed and tucked a strand of perfectly curled hair behind her ear as her youngest daughter, Adriana, bounded into the room with her dance bag. "Ma, are you coming to my competition this weekend?" Adriana asked, her eyes bright with excitement. "Of course, honey," Teresa said, managing a smile. "You know I wouldn't miss it." As Adriana left the room, Teresa's phone buzzed on the counter. It was a message from her publicist. The words "interview request" and "future plans" caught her eye. She hesitated before swiping to read it in full. These days, every interview seemed to center around one burning question. Was she staying or leaving RHONG? She couldn't blame them for asking. The rumors had been swirling for months. Between her tumultuous relationship with Melissa and Joe Gorga and the emotional toll of her father's passing, Teresa had been through the ringer. And now, with Louis by her side and her girls growing up, she was starting to wonder if it was time to close this chapter of her life. Later that day, Teresa found herself at an intimate lunch with Dolores Catania and Jennifer Aydin. The trio had always shared a unique bond, though the dynamics were constantly evolving. As they sipped on green juices and picked at kale salads, the conversation inevitably turned to the show. "Tea," Jennifer began, her perfectly manicured nails tapping on the table. "You've been really quiet during filming this season. What's going on?" Teresa shrugged, swirling her straw in her drink. "I don't know, you guys. I just feel like maybe it's time for something different. I've been doing this for so long. I mean, the girls are older now. Gia's in law school, for crying out loud. Can you believe that?" Dolores raised an eyebrow. "But the show's been your life, Teresa. It's been your platform, your voice. You're the queen of RHONJ. I know, but sometimes being the queen isn't all it's cracked up to be," Teresa admitted. "The drama, the fights, it's exhausting. And honestly, I want to focus on Louis, the girls, and maybe even a new project." Jennifer's eyes lit up. "New project? Spill." Teresa smiled coyly. "Well, Louis and I have been talking about doing something together. Maybe a podcast or a YouTube channel. Something more positive, you know? I want to inspire people, not just fight with them." Dolores leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms. "Teresa, you know I support you no matter what. But are you sure you're ready to walk away? This show is a huge part of your life." "I don't know if I'm ready," Teresa admitted. "But I think I'm ready to find out." That evening, Teresa hosted a family dinner. The Giudice girls, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana, gathered around the table with Louis and Teresa's brother Joe, and Melissa noticeably absent. It was a warm, lively scene, filled with laughter and the aroma of Teresa's famous meatballs. "Ma," Melania said between bites, "you're not really thinking about leaving the show, are you?" Teresa looked at her daughters, their faces a mix of concern and curiosity. "I don't know, honey. I've been doing this for so long, and I'm starting to feel like maybe it's time to move on." Gia, ever the wise one, spoke up. "Ma, if you're not happy, you shouldn't stay. But just remember, the show's been a big part of our lives. It's given us so much, but it's also taken a lot. You need to do what's best for you." "Thanks, Gia," Teresa said, reaching across the table to squeeze her daughter's hand. "I just want us to be happy as a family." By the end of the week, Teresa found herself in front of the Bravo cameras for a confessional. The producer's voice echoed in the small, brightly lit room. "Teresa, there's been a lot of speculation about your future on the show. Can you set the record straight?" She took a deep breath, her signature steely resolve shining through. "Look, I've been with RHONJ since the beginning. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm so grateful for everything it's brought into my life. But I'm at a point where I'm thinking about what's next. My girls, Louis, my own happiness, they're what matter most to me now." The producer pressed on. "Does that mean you're leaving?" Teresa's lips curved into a small smile. "Let's just say I'm keeping my options open. You'll have to wait and see." Behind the scenes, Bravo executives were already buzzing about the potential fallout. Teresa's departure would be a seismic shift for the franchise. Could the show survive without its OG? And if she did leave, who would step up to fill her shoes? Meanwhile, Teresa's fans took to social media in droves, speculating and debating her cryptic comments. Hashtags like #TeresaForever and #RHONGQueen trended within hours. Even Andy Cohen weighed in, teasing on his late-night show, "If Teresa's thinking about leaving, let's just say Bravo's got a few tricks up its sleeve." As the season finale approached, Teresa's decision loomed large. Would she stay and continue her reign, or would she bow out gracefully, leaving behind a legacy that would be nearly impossible to top? One thing was certain: Teresa Giudice was far from done making headlines, whether on RHONJ or beyond. And as she stood on the precipice of a new chapter, she felt a flicker of excitement, a reminder that sometimes the unknown held the greatest promise of all.